Wow, were you there? Were you one of those thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of excited Republicans and conservatives excited to see Donald Trump at Madison Square Garden? This is the entertainment mecca, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get bigger, it doesn't get better. Now, if you were there or if you watched it, you saw history in the making. But if you were on the other side, I'll leave my comments to after Stuart has his view of what happened yesterday as Trump rallies Americans to vote. With about a week to go, folks, it's game time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rant Network. I am David Solomon. He is Stuart Briscoe. This is the Rant Network, where we talk about uncensored, unfiltered, and, of course, unedited conversations on a wide variety of topics. This is the podcast dedicated to giving a platform to you, to us, to express opinions, share thoughts, as well as experiences and ideas. But we're also talking about hearing from a different perspective of our angles, our honest opinions, but also we fact check. Believe you me, we do our homework. We always like to dive into the latest news, pop culture, politics, and so much more. And with 1 week to go, the politics is just going to get hotter. Oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens after November the 5th. This is about modern life, folks. The absurdity behind it, deeper issues. We get you here at the Rant Network. We have you always covered on these wonderful things. Stuart, I got to tell you, I knew a few people who actually went, not just a family member who went, but I know another group of people who went and said that yesterday was galvanizing. That was the word I kept hearing. Stuart, you watched it from FLA. What did you think of Donald Trump and his entourage?
Well, let's first understand, I don't care where you are, what venue you've been to, unless you've been to Madison fucking Square Garden, you have not felt electrified ever. And that includes watching one of 24 Montreal Canadian Stanley Cups or the Panthers. It's nothing to compare to Madison Square Garden, the iconic stadium where they tried to encourage them not to allow this to even take place. It's a centralized hub where all trains and planes meet in New York City. So the iconic Garden was host to Donald J. Trump with just a week and a bit before our election. Of course, the left has rhetorical attacks against the guy. Does he misspeak? Hell yeah. But is he full of word salad? Nope. Is he full with innuendo? Yep. Is he full of repeating himself? Yep. Does he talk about himself in the third person? Yep. Is he an orange-faced, white-eyed raccoon? Yep. But it's Donald Trump. There are movies, songs, videos all about this guy. This is a man who's a myth and a legend in gathering a ringleader type performance. He took the stadium, wrapped him around his hand in an almost sold out venue. They stopped letting people in because the Secret Service couldn't handle what was actually going in. But of course, the detractors, Hillary Scary Clinton, because she's so irrelevant that she has to start referring to Donald Trump as Adolf Hitler, Hitler-styled speeches, Hitler-styled things, and went after the guy, even post and pre. They picked on him because he called about Puerto Rico being a dirty little island in the middle of the water. Well, he was probably referring to somewhere else, but that's okay. At least he knows what planet he's on. It was electrifying. Guys, his wife, who everyone seems to think isn't supporting him, supported him. You had MMA champion there. You had the wonderful Elon Musk with dark Trump hat. Cute. You don't find rallies like this on the other side without bringing Beyonce to get booed and hissed off the stage. Or how about irrelevant Bruce Springsteen? The guy that was against the Vietnam War, that never served and that pretended like he did, short little guy. We all used to like Born in the USA, not realizing it was about anti-war efforts, right? So here we are, less than a week before the election, and everybody in this stadium was like, I'm for Donald Trump. Now, knowing there are people that came from Canada to go to this place tells you something. that this iconic leader galvanizes the world. You know, his enemies fear him. His friends adore him. And they don't seem to get it. They don't have to force it like the Democrats. You've got to like Hillary Clinton. You've got to like Kamala Harris. You got to like Tampon Tim. You know, word salad, coups, they project everything that they do against Donald Trump because they've been doing this for more than 75 years. How about that? They have called the Republican leader or candidate Adolf Hitler styled speeches since before Truman. This is nothing new. In fact, the only German styled speech that has happened in politics in the last 8 years has been Joe Biden with the red gooey lights hanging up. If you remember that one, David, we did a rant about that years ago. But here we are on the 28th of October, 8 days, just a little over a week, and people are still coming out to support. David, you didn't have a chance to see it. You had a chance to hear about it from really good friends. Did your friends convey the electricity? Did your friends convey the camaraderie? Was there everyone in unison? Does anyone being forced to stay there for some entertainment that just doesn't seem to meet mustard?
Okay, Stuart, let me start from the very beginning here because of what you just said in terms of reaction. As a Jew, I'm offended by Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, MSNBC, who decided to call this a Nazi rally, who have now used the word fascist, Hitler, and what have you. And it's picking up liberal media again and again. And if you watch, there are a couple of videos floating around, by the way, Stuart, of Holocaust survivors who are absolutely grossly offended that they've decided that Donald Trump is Hitler by minimizing, like by calling him that, they minimized Hitler. I mean, it is disgusting. And it just shows you the depths of which the Democrats are desperate to try to win an election rather than dealing with facts and dealing with issues. They want to attack him in a style that they think will resonate with Americans, and Americans are fed up. And the reason I started like that is to prove in a stadium that held 19,500 people with seats on the floor, Stuart, the place was packed. The place was packed, jam-packed to the point where people couldn't even get in. There was no standing room. It shows you the viewership of it was absolutely off the charts. The message, Stuart, and this was the rant that I did on Friday, is that the politicians are not listening to the voters. We're not listening to what people are trying to say.
Well, hold on, David, you say they're not listening. David, they are listening.
Well, hold on. Let me.
It's just they're ignoring them. I think
they're really okay. Great, good, fine. They're ignoring it because what you heard yesterday was very simple. You had speaker after speaker, whether you agree with their policy, with their politics or not, yet speaker after speaker talking about really what the America that you know for the last 4 years has been a disaster. Just take a look at the last 12 months on the streets of New York, Chicago. Whether you talk about migrants coming in and beating up police, whether it's crime going through the roof, whether the economy is in the toilet, or for that matter, the racism that is flooding streets in the campus, it's in sit-ins and the Islamism that the Democrats are refusing to acknowledge, and the problems. 100% of the people there are saying we want our America back again. And the reason Canadians went, Stuart, was not only just to support their American brothers and sisters, but they know that if America has sneezes, Canada has a cold. The West has a pneumonia. And right now, the West is sick. And as a result, this was about supporting to bring back a reality that's necessary. Now, there are people panicking here today in Canada saying, oh my God, if Donald Trump gets elected, Stuart, you know what kind of Trumps and levies he's going to slap on and da-da-da. Slow down, people. Yes, he's a protectionist president. Of course he is. I want my prime minister to be just as equally as protectionist of my economy and not sending it to China and giving it away. I want my borders secured. I want the crime off the streets. Okay, I want to see, racism eliminated. I want to see, no more wars around the world. When Donald Trump says we're the closest to World War III than we've ever been, I mean, you could say it's rhetoric, but we haven't had this many wars at the same time since since World War II. We haven't had this kind of wars, and yet the left wants you to believe that the world is a better place. We'd rather have a word salad president than someone who's a little bit of a narcissist. I got it. You don't have to like the guy. I got it. And I had this argument on Friday with people, lefties, who are absolutely have no interest in listening. They believe that Kamala Harris is the only solution. But listen to the people talking in this, Stuart, and talking to my friends and family who went to this event. They're saying, Stuart, this is what it should be. And believe you me, there were no Nazi flags. There was no Heil Trump. There was none of this stupid crap that the Hillarys and the MSNBCs want to throw at you. What you saw was pure patriotism. And if patriotism is a dirty word today, Stuart, and that's what I'm getting. And I'll tell you something. I can't wait to flush this podcast through artificial intelligence and see how it distills this too, because even there, we're seeing these are dirty words and it destroys the left. And they have to absolutely annihilate it, not with fact, not with solutions, but with grave insults to not only the candidates, but the people who attended. If you're telling me that Donald Trump is a fascist, that means that every Republican who supports him or anybody who votes for Donald Trump is a fascist?
David, you know what? You look like a fascist, according to Hillary Clinton, and a deplorable. Everything. You're deep in a party that projects.
Kamala Harris has thrown this out. Joe Biden is throwing it out. The Democrats are using this as their only ploy, the only ploy they can get. So when you see the 19,500 people in a stadium absolutely on their feet cheering, I don't care if you listen to Dr. Phil or Hulk Hogan or Elon Musk or Rudy Giuliani or whomever else was there. I mean, what you said about Melania was true. She got on the stage, the place went nuts. Mm-hmm. It just shows you again and again. The left is trying to tell you how disorganized the Republicans are, how there's no unity, that there's only one thing, autocratic rule, blah, blah, blah. And yet you see the exact opposite. If you're paying attention and you're listening with open eyes and open ears, this is what patriotism is really all about.
Yeah, I just got to say a fast one. You know what Michelle Obama and Melania Trump have in common?
What do Michelle and Obama and Melania Trump have in common?
You see, not only do their names begin with M, they both wear a laya. But do you know what the difference is between the two that wear a laya? One's been wearing a laya forever, and one just got it because she made money leaving the White House.
Well, we're just trying to get a job at a comedy routine. Ladies and gentlemen, look, it's simple. You are able to pre-vote just about all across the United States, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what? It's just clear, folks. It's very clear. If you want to believe rhetoric, if you want to believe the left that the Republicans are fascists, racists, and are only interested in themselves and putting money into rich people's pockets, go vote for Kamala.
Yep.
Okay. But the reality, that's not even close to the reality that you're going to be facing. And the United States is right now under the microscope of every country in the world. Iran has tried to derail the elections. Russia's trying to derail the elections. Folks, wake up. If you want to go back to a quieter, more economically prosperous time, just watch what happened yesterday in Madison Square Garden. That is what you're going to get. Stuart, last word to you, my friend.
Last word is this. I want you to pay attention. Everything that they say in the media that Donald Trump has doing, it's something that they've done or doing. They project, David. I just sat back last night and I watched a post-up on CNN. And I got to tell you something. They gather just one thing that he slipped up on, and that is the lead of the news. David, if we counted how many things Kamala Harris said right, or Tampon Tim said right in a speech, I'm sorry. I can't find the soundbite.
Let me put it this way. My only comment is what I said before. Folks, if you prefer someone who can't put two, like you said, two words together and doesn't have real policies and has been trying to tell you that everything that's wrong with America is Trump's fault for the last 4 years while she's been sitting in the White House, if you like the blame game, go for it. Go for it. Or if you want to go back to a time where there's a little bit, yes, there was noise, but boy, oh boy, you had more money in your pocket and we weren't dealing with these military incursions. Your call. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for tuning into the Rant Network. As Stuart is slashing his throat, which drives me nuts. We hope you enjoyed this conversation, gained some valuable insight. We appreciate your support. Listen, folks, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, we broadcast. So like us, subscribe, please. You can check it out, therantnetwork.com. That's where we really have everything. Or if you'll prefer YouTube, folks, hit that subscribe button. We really, really need that subscription because Facebook is not really sharing. Other sources are not really sharing, especially during election time. I wonder why. Anyways, on that note, folks, remember, we love to hear from you. Comments,